Not gonna lie, guys, I am so tired that I think I'm just going to not even do a 10-minute timer. I'm just gonna whack out details and then I'm gonna get the heck out of Dodge. All right. So I woke up at around 7:30 in the morning and I needed to use the restroom. So I did just that. Then I immediately got a few cups of water and then went straight back to bed. When I got up again, I decided it would be a good idea to make eggs on toast. And while I was making these eggs on toast, I decided to listen to a review of the Lego games from back in the day by a nostalgic fan of them to get better insight into that person's opinions on why they believe that series in particular has declined recently or has declined since around 2016 or 17 is what they reported. After watching this humorous video and eating my breakfast with my cup of coffee, it was time to get ready for work. So I put on my white shirt and black pants and I got everything I needed and I left. And the first hour I spent bagging, being very nice to the customers, and having some small talk with my coworkers. Then the second hour was done outside by pushing carts. And it was quite an experience because I allowed my mind to race with various thoughts and ideas for what I could do to maximize my Roth IRA. I came up with many good ideas. One that I thought of was perhaps maybe a seasonal job. When business at Stater Brothers is slow, I could find another short term side hustle to make a bit more than I normally would. So that was a good idea, I believe. After this, I took a 10-minute break where I went and grabbed my canteen and had it refilled for free at the nearest restaurant. And then, as I was drinking, I was reading through ChatGPT's Model 03 advice for how to do better schedule optimization. I decided to ask it, now with all of this information in mind, could you craft me the ideal schedule based on what you wrote and what I did today? I even shared a lot of the details I've shared here so far. What I came up with was quite intriguing and interesting, I would tell you, but I'm so tired that I'm not even going to bother right now. Maybe in a future video if anyone is interested. After this, it was 2 hours of bagging, and suddenly my stomach is feeling a little hurty. I don't know where this is coming from, but I feel kind of funky, not gonna lie. Okay, let's speed run through this. So I went home and I got 3 leftover pieces of, what were they called again? Ribs with 2 leftover pieces of pizza. I warmed them up, ribs in the air fryer, pizza on a pan, and it was good. As I was doing this, my mom was telling me all about updates happening around the house and with construction in the back room. Then I left for work again after drinking another cup of coffee. And my first hour was spent in the front lines bagging, but around the 30-minute mark, I needed to use the restroom, probably due to lunch and the coffee, mostly the coffee. So I did just that. When I got out, It was around the time to go outside and push carts, so I did that for an hour. Not many interesting thoughts to share during that point in time, but overall, it was nice to help out each and every customer. Finally, my last 2 hours, it was so busy up in the front. The first of the last 2 hours was spent mostly just bagging, and then the last hour was spent doing go backs because the front was busy and all of the bagging stations were taken. And of course, I did a few carry out deliveries to parked cars outside. Finally, I drove back home where my mom wanted to go to a Bible study, so I had to back my car out and allow her to leave so I wouldn't be in the way. And then I drove up and, oh, I almost forgot to mention, I did get some sodas. They were a good deal. It was like 51 cents per can, which is great because normally they're like 78 cents per can, but it was a 4 for $5 deal. And yeah, it was a pretty compelling offer. And I do like drinking soda, so that's why I got it. I got Diet Coke, I got Diet Dr. Pepper, and I got 2 Coke Zeros. Then I decided to watch a documentary about someone theorizing how the pyramids were built. And the basic gist is they were just really good at measuring and math, and they were pioneers in these fields. They were also pioneers in the field of cement structuring by taking elements from their environment and then wetting them and then having them harden in molds and then taking those molds out. So that was the video's theory, and it was quite an interesting theory, I would say. I guess it makes more sense than Egyptians pushing hundreds of tons of stone blocks that would take them years to carve and then lift and push and smash together to form a structure, when instead they simply could just create light cement fill-in and put it in molds and then eventually have those molds harden until eventually they have a fully completed structure. That, I guess that makes a lot of sense. I guess certainly more than aliens, that's for sure. After this, my family friend just had payday and she wanted to celebrate by going out to eat. So me and her went out to eat at Black Angus, but we didn't go eat in the restaurant. Instead, we simply just picked the food up and then drove the food back to the house and ate there. It was pretty good. It was top sirloin, medium rare. It was 5 breaded shrimps and 5 garlic butter cooked shrimp and half of a bread bun and fries that sadly were soggy when we got back because they had been inside a plastic container with condensation and moisture for like a good 20 minutes. So of course they're not going to taste as fresh as they would at the restaurant. And a cup of mac and cheese. It was a very good dinner, and we had fun talking to each other and sharing laughs. Then, after that was done, I decided to brew some tea and we'll continue watching that documentary until I realized that I wanted to get a video out to the public. So I decided to open my computer to record a new update. But there was a problem. My computer needed to update, and not just update the computer, but also the apps on the computer that I need in order to record these update videos. So overall, what would have been done around 10:30 is now going to be done around 12 o'clock. So that's fun. Well, And then once everything was updated, I opened up OBS Studios and started recording this update for you. And that's pretty much the day. What did we learn? We learned that I have very repetitive behavioral patterns when it comes to getting consumed in media consumption and not doing enough creation on my own. I need to find a way to really fight out of that temptation. One of the things that I think would be a good idea to try out would maybe be, how about, wow, this is hard. I guess avoid YouTube and just general consumption for the first hour of the day, and instead spend the first hour of the day like doing proactive things instead of reactive things, like stretching, cooking a meal, personal hygiene, exercise. That would probably be the smart thing to do. And speaking of the smart thing to do, I think we've reached the end of this update. So thank you so much for watching. And everybody who is watching this, have yourselves a fantastic day. Take care, everybody.